Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Card Advantage 1 year anniversary special. This is episode number 52, and joined by me, as always, with the exception of 2 episodes earlier in the year, is my wonderful co-host, Bunk. What's going on, buddy?
Funny, I only remember one that I missed.
I think you had 2 that you missed.
I think it was 2, huh?
I think if you dig through the archives, there's 2 solo pods that happened.
All right. Yeah, big week though. 52.
Big week number 52. Lots of fantastic announcements for everybody. The website, I am so happy to announce, is finally live. sportscardadvantage.com. It is up. It is live. Please go there. We launched it a couple days ago. Soft launch, quiet launch. Sent it around to a couple people to evaluate. And then this is the first public announcement on the pod. We'd love for you guys to go check it out. If there's anything that you see out of place, anything that you see spelling errors, anything, suggestions, ideas, whatever it is, or just general feedback, send us an email, info@sportscardadvantage.com. We are going to be continuously trying to build on this, adding new video content, adding new tools, try to be a resource for the hobby. I will make the statement, we are sponsored by nobody in the hobby. 0 people, and unless somebody throws us a ridiculously large bag of money, we're going to try to keep it that way. We have been approached by some other people outside the hobby, which we're in negotiations with for sponsorship. But we are going to try to keep hobby neutral so that we can say whatever the fuck we want to say about any company that we want to say it about, and we don't have any financial ties to them. So if we want to bash XYZ grading company or XYZ breaker or praise
We
them,
don't do that.
yeah, of course not.
Who bashes grading company?
If we want to praise people, bash people, whatever we want to do, you know that it's never coming from a place of, well, they're getting paid by them. So we're gonna keep that up and keep it moving. So before we get into the podcast, I just want to give you guys a quick rundown on what the website's all about. I do have the site up in YouTube for those of you that are watching or want to watch along. So there is a little bit of everything for everybody. Obviously, podcast is the central focal point of the site. We also will be doing a video of the week. This week's video of the week focuses on the aftermath of the Leighton Blaze $1 million break. Due to Bunk not wanting to be canceled, I did the video of the week by myself. He did not want to risk getting too excited about providing his feedback on the situation. We have giveaways, we have tools. Some of the cool tools that we have, there is a sports card alarm. So basically, if you're following anything on eBay, you copy and paste the link from eBay into the tool. You set how long of a timer you want, anywhere from 2 to 30 minutes. And then you set whether or not you want to be email or text or both. And then when the timer gets to that spot, you will get a text or an email. I love to use this tool with like 3 minutes to go, because you get the reminder from eBay at 15 minutes. You get sidetracked. You're not sitting there staring at the auction for 15 minutes. You do other things, and then it gets to be 20 minutes past, and the auction expired 5 minutes ago, and you forgot. So,
and then it closes for well under what you were willing to pay, and it's a really kick in the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. So what I do personally, and I know Bunk does the same, and some of the other people that have had early access to this tool, set it up 3 minutes, send yourself a text message. Your phone will go off 3 minutes before the auction expires. Or email, whatever your thing is. And 3 minutes, 2 minutes before the auction expires, you'll get that reminder. You can literally just pop it up and then just watch the last the last couple minutes of the auction and make sure you get your bids in. Also, one of my favorite tools as more of a flipper investor is the sports card calculator. The sports card calculator enables you to put in um, either what you might pay for the card to show you, basically what you'd have to sell the card for in order to make profit. A lot of times, what we'll do for this is when we're looking to buy cards raw and flip them, what we'd pay for the card raw or how much we can pay for the card raw. And if it gets, PSA 10, and what that value is, and see if there's enough room or meat on the bone, or if it comes back a nine, how far, are we in profit or upside down? You can input whether or not you bought the card on eBay, whether or not you bought the card privately, and it'll populate everything automatically based on eBay fees, taxes, shipping, etc. There are three options for the calculator. There's a really quick version where you can just input values and see what you need to sell the card for in order to make at least $1 of profit, which is very helpful. There's a short version and a long version, which will now enable you to put in different variables. So if you're a guy that needs to measure things down to the penny, use the long version. You can put in like state taxes and stuff for your own individual stuff, and it will calculate the eBay fees and everything else for you, and really give you a ability to keep an eye on if you're buying and selling where you need to be for profit. Last but not least, it's a tool that's in progress. It's a comp tool, very similar to 130 point. The only difference is right now we have yet to figure out the workaround for the best offer. So if you are looking for an alternative for 130, if 130 is down or slow or whatever, you can use this and it'll give you auction values, and you can at least pull something. It gives you something that's available.
Yeah, I mean, I know one guy that uses it, and he could care less what any best offer accepted was. He only calculates his values from auctions, anyways.
Yep.
So I know he uses the site exclusively just because a it's faster. It's so much faster, so much cleaner.
Yep.
But I get it. The not having that best offer data, it's important. But if you're just an auction only type of person, the site's awesome for that.
Yep, and we have so many more attributes as far as what you can put in. So if you're looking really for specific cards and you're tired of getting like the 17 variations of stuff, there's options for graded, not graded, which grading company, auto, no auto, rookie, serial number, short print. You can put all this stuff in, specific prices. Definitely a lot more options than 130. But as we said, the best offers are not in there. But for whatever reason, 130 is running slow, or you only care about auctions, this site gets a lot less traffic, so it'll operate a lot faster.
Yeah, especially if you're looking for color parallels that are typically serial numbered. I'll click that on, and it automatically will eliminate all the base and all the base refracted versions, which is obviously the majority of the closed sales would be. So it really narrows it down for you.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
have to piece through all of it.
Yep. And then we have a resource section. In the resource section, you have a box breaker directory. So it's over 200 breakers listed. So if you're looking for a specific breaker that only breaks on YouTube or whatever else, you can search by type of breaker, product that they break. This is a work in progress. So if you see if there's a breaker that you use that's not on here, send us an email, info@sportscardadvantage. We'll be happy to add it to the list. Obviously, this isn't going to be everybody, but this was as exhaustive of a list that we could find through basic, Google searches, Facebook searches, Instagram searches, etc. Eventually, we're going to try to start to review some of these, and start to put some of that content up. But for now, it's a good resource if you're looking for a breaker. There's a Facebook group resource. So if you're looking for a community, there's a bunch of different Facebook groups here. Once again, if you have stuff that you want to suggest, send it our way. Sports card consigners, and some of the big ones: DC, TNT, Burbank, Gold Card, Heritage. There's a bunch of consigners here. If you have somebody that you like, send it our way. We'll add it to the list. Sports card supplies, places that you can buy sleeves, loaders, storage, a bunch of different links here for that. I'm sure there's other companies. If you have some ingenuitive, that's not a word. If you have some different sources for stuff, different supplies. Ingenuitive, that's the word I was looking for.
You cheat at Scrabble, don't you?
I might. But if I'm playing against people like you whose vocabulary isn't fantastic, I may be able to get away with some stuff.
It's bigger than you
think. I wish I had a "That's What She Said" button, but we'll keep it moving. Sports card grading, links to PSA, BGS, SGC, CSG, HGA, and then also a couple of group grading submissions. Collector 2 and Nash cards are the ones that we have personal experience with, so we left those here. I'm sure there's plenty of other group graders out there, so once again, send those our way if you have them. And then also there's a link in here for recommended by PSA group graders, and that'll also give you some choices. I mean, us personally, we used group grading a couple of times, and that was it, just because we just send stuff in ourselves. So we don't have a lot of experience with some of these. Sports Card Shows links out to another link that gives you the most exhaustive list that we could find of local shows. Sports Card release schedule is just that. We literally took this from Steel City. So this is Steel City's release schedule. So if you do click on it, it goes to Steel City. We are not getting paid by Steel City. I don't think, it's just, in my opinion, they have the best release schedule that's updated regularly, because obviously they get the cards in. So that's the one that we borrowed. There's also a sports card glossary, a sports card blog, and then stuff to our podcast. We do have links for the 10K challenge. That's not ready yet. We kind of fumbled a little bit on that, so we're still getting that together. But hopefully we'll have that up in the next couple of weeks. And then last but not least, the giveaway that's going to be on the site. In order to enter, you must leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Take a screenshot of your review and email it to info@sportscardadvantage.com. The reviews can be good or bad. We obviously prefer good. And we have taken a screenshot and record of the reviews already there. So please do not screenshot an existing review because you're lazy and don't want to do it. Please help us out and send us a review and send us the email. You will be entered in to win either a VIP pass to the National or a slab that's worth about $200, or a $200 break credit to the breaker of your choice. I think that's it. Did I miss anything for the website?
No, I don't think so. I think you got it covered.
Fantastic. Once again, sportscardadvantage.com is live. Please go check us out. One other piece of podcast business. We do have potential prizes for the Fantasy League. I don't know if it's over or not yet, because obviously we didn't make the playoffs. Let me take a quick look. Do we have a champion? Standings. Jeez. Whoever Gas House Gorillas is 17-0. Oh, it's Tony. That's why Tony keeps messaging me on Instagram asking me what the prizes are.
Tony ain't messing around.
Apparently not. He's 17-0.
So is he the champion?
I don't know. Playoff bracket. Here we go.
That would suck if you lost in the
playoffs. Okay, so round 1 is March 14th through the 27th. All right, so there'll be another round, which will be another 2 weeks. Okay, so yeah, Tony's currently winning 7-0, and then he'll play what is probably the Orlando Boomers in the finals. So we have All right. So what we'll do is we'll reach out to both Tony and
Yeah, whoever's in the finals,
yeah, we'll
take
reach
some picks and
you
you'll
know
see their options.
Chris. Okay. So I have both of your email addresses, Chris and Tony. So we'll reach out to both of you guys. We'll send you the options for prizes, and whoever wins can send us what you want, and then we'll announce it on the podcast and send that stuff out to you right away.
But fear not, you will get cards.
Yes, absolutely. We are men of our words, and we did put stuff aside for the winner of this, even though our effort was less than stellar. We will make sure that everybody gets what we promised as far as prizes are concerned. So good luck to Chris and Tony in the finals, and then we'll make the announcement after everything's over. I believe that the finals will end basically right before the playoffs start for the NBA.
That's usually how it works, right?
Yeah. All right. I think we're done with podcast business, so we can finally get into this week's
Yeah, what are we talking about, guy?
episode. All right. So the first topic for today. So there's a situation with a breaker. I'm not even going to name the breaker because I have no experience with them whatsoever. But I did see an article, or not an article, but some posts that were maliciously attacking this breaker because they had an employee that was working for them that pressured one of their customers to sell them a card that they got in a break. And I guess this guy was so relentless that the person that, you know, that won wound up complaining about it, and or I don't know if they sold him the card or not, but it started to make its way around the hobby and social media, and it turns out that the customer was a 13-year-old kid. So obviously that's a black eye for everybody. But it raises, in my opinion, it raises a bigger question. Is it a conflict of interest for a breaker to buy a card from a customer that gets pulled in a break?
I mean, I told you last week. At some point, I still can't remember the friggin' name because it didn't last a while. But there was a company that was hosting breaks, and that was their whole business model was they host the break, you buy into the break, and then 10 minutes after, whatever it was, after the break was over, they made you a cash offer for something you might have pulled.
They were offering like 60% of comps.
Oh,
I mean,
it was awful. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
it wasn't from. I mean, I have no personal experience with it. I didn't get into any of those, but from everybody that told me, whom I trust, that said the offers they got were not up to par or what they wanted, so they passed. But listen, some people just like, yeah, I don't want that card, and I can get cash immediately without having to ship anything and do whatever, so they take the cash.
here's
The bigger issue is, and you're the biggest. You've been talking about this all the time. How at some point there's going to be regulations on breaks and stuff, and it's gambling, blah blah blah, whatever your view is. But now we got it. Can 13-year-olds be buying into breaks?
well, I mean, that's an interesting
That's going to be a whole
question.
separate issue.
If the 13-year-old has a PayPal account that his parents put some money into, then yeah, a 13-year-old has the ability to buy into a break. But my question here is, a number one, if I'm an uneducated consumer and don't know what the value of the card that I just pulled, and then you make me a 60 or 70% of comp offer, to me that's greedy, number one, because I bought into a break that's more than likely at retail price. You got the
Yeah,
product at
they've
50
already
per
made their money
yeah.
on the break.
Yeah,
Yes.
you've
Now they're
you've
trying. Yes.
you've already made your money, and now you're going to stick your hand in again. And it's like, if you wanted to offer them 80% of comp, 85% of comp, because that's what they would have gotten if they would have sold on eBay or through a consigner, no problem at all. But unfortunately, these motherfuckers are trying to get away with double dipping, and hey, I'll offer you 60% comps, 70% comps, and then they're going to turn around and sell it, for 90. So they're going to make 20 or 30% on the card, and they've already gotten you for their markup on the break on the product. And you know I just think that it's like, you know it puts a certain pressure on a uneducated new person in the hobby, or somebody who reveres their breaker as if they are somebody special. It's like almost like some of these guys view break some of the breakers as like fucking celebrities. So it's like if a celebrity asks you to do something, you're like, oh my God, it's like this person's asking something of me and I must comply. So it's almost like you feel an obligation. And if you don't have experience or the confidence or backbone to say no, you then just sold your card off for freaking, less than what you should get if you sold it on eBay or put it in, some sort of Facebook group or someplace else that you could get more for it. So I mean, I don't know. I think that the breaker needs to know who they're dealing with, and if it's a regular and somebody you have rapport with and you guys do business, fine. But like new people, leave them be.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, to your point, if you got a veteran customer, you know who they PC, they know who you PC, and you pull a card that would be advantageous to somebody there, and like I'll know if someone reaches out to me for a break and like, hey, I need that card. There's a good shot I know why they need the card, and
Yeah.
in most cases, if they're asking me, it's not because they're reselling it per se, uh, because I'll know that based on the offer, but. But again, if you don't know what you're doing or you're trying to capitalize or prey on a brand new customer to try to show them they can get cash immediately on a hit and you're going to take advantage of it, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and there are guys out there that are fast talking bullies, basically. I as much as I want to name, they're one of the first breakers that I ever watched. As much as I want to name him, I'm not going to. But he's a fast talking used car salesman. And like he's loud, he's obnoxious, he's boisterous, he's a bully. And I've heard him make offers on pods. I mean, during breaks, and it's like if somebody like me at the beginning, if I didn't know anything about anything and didn't have you as a resource, but I just was like looking to get back into cards and had some monster hit and it's like worth $1,000 and I could get $1,000 on eBay and he offered me 500 and I paid 250 to get into the break. I'm like, hell yeah, it's a freaking fantastic deal. But you just ripped me off again. Like,
Right, but it's like any other soft scam out there. Look at all the bills that different entities send you, and you know damn well you don't know anything or you already paid it, but they send out hundreds of these things. Doesn't matter what what discipline they're in, because X number of people are going to pay it anyway, just to make it go away. It's the same thing. They're preying on people who are too lazy or don't care or whatever. So that's the
well,
part that sucks about it.
you
So at the end
can't
of the day, I still think it's on the consumer.
you
You
can't
know,
It's on the consumer if you're running a fucking business. But if you're running a hobby and everybody's gonna hold hands and sing kumbaya and we're all a community, then you can't do that. You can't prey on your new
I
you
don't disagree
you
with you.
can't
I'm just
you can't prey on your new money. Like,
that was pretty funny, guy.
well, I mean that's the thing. Like
Get on that pedestal.
these people that are sending out these scammy type of
Hobby
offers,
gatekeeper, you.
they're running a business. They're a business. There's no questions about the business, and everybody. I mean, that was. I know we're not going to talk about it, but that was the whole situation with Leighton and and Blez and that break. Because I'm like, we're a hobby and we're a community, and this behavior is unacceptable. It's like make up your minds, people. Like you're either a hobby and everybody's a community and everybody's looking out for each other, or you're a business. And these motherfuckers are a business. Leighton freaking recorded himself getting onto a private plane to go to Vegas for this event and for Mint Collective. That does not say hobby to me. That says business because that plane ride was probably 30 grand, 40 grand in and of itself to get them there. So it's just like, this is a business, people. And, but as a breaker, you have to do better or you have to just admit that this is not a hobby anymore.
Well, so, I mean, but to your point, the breakers that are doing this, they don't view it as a hobby.
Yeah, they're
I
predatory.
would say the majority of them don't. Unfortunately, they're
Yeah.
trying to make a buck and they're hustling cards as fast as they can. And if they can hustle a few more dollars because they buy something back from you at an advantage to them, then what then they're going to do it.
Yeah, and that's in my opinion that's shitty. And
Yeah.
and honestly, it's one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. As far as we're trying to educate people and we're trying to shed light on some of the underbelly of the kumbaya hobby, and let people know that's like, dude, you got to do your own research. You have to be educated, when you're getting in on some of this stuff. If you're viewing it as pure entertainment and you don't care, fine, that's completely cool, that's up to you. But don't get taken advantage of.
Yeah, because to be fair, yeah, there are people who won't get taken advantage of in those situations, and there are people who, again, don't want to do the work of waiting for the card to come in, list it, and sell it, and they get anything close to what they would think they should get, they're gonna just flip it because it's easy just to get PayPal back what they're offering you.
Yeah, which is fair. And I definitely see that point, but at the same time, it
Yeah,
irks.
well, in this case, it backfired because a 13-year-old kid who doesn't know any better to stand up for himself or what. I mean, I hope it sounds like he did a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean,
that's tough. You got a grown man pressuring what he didn't know was a kid, but you gotta in the back of your head, you don't know who's behind the keyboard.
yeah, exactly, and that's the whole thing. And thankfully there are different outlets and different breakers that spoke up, and brought light to the situation. But I really think that people, as much as I don't want to see this thing get regulated by the government, because that's the last thing we need. At the same time, before anybody goes into any situation in a financial trading environment, there's a disclaimer that says, before you buy into this, these are the terms and conditions and X, Y, and Z, and here are some warnings as far as things that you should do. And there obviously is none of that in the hobby. And before you get into a break, you just give them your money, and that's the end of it. So there's no rules and regulations. And even if there's some sort of self-governing body, get the freaking heads of the five families here, and get some people together, and start to build something out that's going to, if you want to build this into a long-term community, do that.
Easy guy, because then we'll have breaker unions.
Strikes.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
Strikes and scabs. I'm not
Yeah,
paying my
labor
union
disputes.
dues.
Take 2 months to get my card shipped.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, we'll move on here. You ready for your debut here, sir?
Guy blowing it out of the water.
Blowing it out of the water. All right. So, Slab Wars become a regular segment on the show. For those of you that are new, Slab Wars is we take one card and we compare it across as many slab companies, as many grading companies as we possibly can. We've been doing basketball the last few weeks, and normally it's a segment that I do. But Bunk is debuting. It's his Slab Wars debut, and he has
Well,
made
we
it.
needed some Slab Wars baseball. That's what the people wanted.
Yeah, so he has decided to make his debut, and decided to come to bring the heater, and really provide more comparisons than have ever been done in the history of the segment. So with that, I will turn it over to you, sir.
That's true. We got 9, a show record for Slab Wars. We got 9 comparisons here. So we're doing the 2018 Topps Chrome Ohtani rookie card, number 150. That is the one with him pitching. All these cards, of the 9 of them, I think 8 of them all ended at auction. 1 was a best offer, and we always include best offers. Well, we try not to include best offers, but as long as they're kind of reasonable and customary compared to the other comps, and it's not just this huge outlier, we'll include it. But we have 8 auctions and 1 best offer accepted. All ended in a 3-day period earlier this week, so that's pretty cool as far as comparison here. All right, Guy, what do you think number 1 is?
Well, of course. All right, and let's
I have
fucking
no commentary. I'm
yes.
just reading numbers, Guy.
Leave the
No
horse
bias whatsoever.
Yeah, leave the horse dead in the field. But we obviously already know that BGS 10 is going to be at the top of the list.
BGS 10, $428. I know you like your pops. Pop 11.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you even have pops. You've outdone me already. I
Oh,
usually
Guy,
don't have
come on.
pops for these.
Baseball Slab Wars. We do it right. PSA 10, almost half the price, $217.50, with 3,400 population.
Oof.
We even have an HGA 10.
Ooh, that is also a show first. HGA
Yes,
10.
sir. Only $20 behind the PSA 10. Now, to be fair, the HGA site pop report is so bad, I couldn't even find the goddamn card. So I didn't bother to see how many there were. But probably not a lot because everyone knows HGA
I
doesn't hand
think
out PSAs like
if I remember
PSA.
correctly from seeing it on eBay in the auction, it's pop one. At least that's what the auction claimed.
Okay, so we got a PSA 10 at 217. We got the HGA 10 at 194, and an SGC 10 at 133.
Ew.
$60 less than the HGA,
Ew.
and almost $100 less than the PSA 10.
That's so gross.
And every other day, SGC is the best. Send to them. Okay.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
hate money, send to SGC.
yeah, we were talking about this before we hopped on. PSA created the SGC fanboy community. We do believe that there's a time and a place for SGC for lesser valued cards, but I mean, even this card, it's a $130 card versus 220, and now that there's a $50 level for PSA, I mean, so we'll mix segments up here, but our PSA $50 update, we are in week 4 from when the card was sent, and we are anticipating it being in our hands within the next 7 days based on where it is. It's at what, step 6?
Step 7. So
Step 7.
Unless I get an email with the grades tonight, which has happened before, it'll likely sit at step 7 till the end of next week, and it'll ship out next Friday, Saturday.
Okay, so
that's usually how they work.
we're looking at a 5 to 6 actual week turnaround versus a 25 business day turnaround, and a $20 price difference for grading submission, and a almost 100% value difference.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, I'm not gonna.
Bunk froze.
Ready to if I'm trying to make money.
Hold on, you froze. Go back, rewind
froze?
rewind about 10 seconds and start again.
No, I was saying I can, I bash who I bash, but at the end of the day, if I'm trying to sell something, where am I sending my card?
Yeah,
I'm still sending them the PSA because for some reason they sell better.
Yeah, and now, I mean, the backlog is basically, as far as I know, yes, people are still waiting on cards, but if you're sending in new stuff, everything is coming back in less than 6 weeks. At least that's been our personal experience, either $50, $100 or $150 level or more. We've gotten everything back in less than 6 weeks with all of it. So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
We have sent things to SGC in the past, but A, we've gotten stuff back damaged. B, we've noticed condition issues in SGC 10 slabs that we bought, and C, the value is gone. I mean, the value is just not there.
No, not at all. I mean, if you love the slab and you're not trying to turn it into everything, then go for it. The cheap option to have a graded card that you're going to hold on to. I got no issues with that. I hear all the time on other podcasts and online about how the values of SGC are comparable. They're not.
Well, that SGC is probably a sponsor. They're getting paid.
I'm sure they are. They won't be calling me.
Yeah, SGC pays a lot of podcasts to rep them.
Yeah. Now listen. The other thing to keep in mind here, to your point about some of these companies going under, we're not there yet. Only because in order to get these 50 level lottery queue opportunities, you still have to be the $99 silver member PSA, which some people just aren't doing.
Yeah.
So they're still waiting for that. They're waiting for that, either that to go away, or the option where they don't have to pay extra money for the right to get into one of these things. So I think we still have some time, to your point earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, once they get the Jersey City facility up and running and they have double the capacity, I mean, SGC goes back to being an unknown. I mean, 2 years ago, other than vintage baseball, nobody knew who the hell SGC was.
The vintage, that was it for me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even, again, to be fair, I wasn't grading on the reg, but I would never have thought to send a modern card to SGC.
Right? Yeah, and I mean, I think within the next 24 to 36 months, a lot of that will probably go back. Once these people that have gravitated towards SGC are seeing the values of PSA and seeing the return times and seeing everything get back to where it was, I think SGC HGA and CSG are going to have problems. Um, CSG released a new label that looks awful. Like that was not a step in the right direction for them to establish credibility.
I actually thought it was better than the one they had,
Dude,
but I wasn't in love with it
looks
either.
like a fifth grade freaking computer project that looks the same as all these other bootleg 3-letter grading companies that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but I still like it a step up than that green and white label.
I mean, I don't know, six of one, half dozen the other for me. I don't think either one of them looked good. And did they get rid of all the subgrades?
Well, they claim that the majority of people weren't asking for subgrades.
That's bullshit.
Well,
Who wouldn't like? Why wouldn't you ask for subgrades?
especially on a from a company with terrible values, I'd want the subgrades on there because if I'm spending cheap to get it graded and it comes a 9.5, I want someone to take the chance to crack it and send it to PSA instead of me.
Yep,
And if it doesn't have subgrades on it, and I'm just looking at a blanket 9.5, if that that one major thing that held it back is you might not see it.
I agree.
But
Anyway, we've gotten way too
yeah, let's
sidetracked.
keep going. Let's keep going.
Keep rolling.
All right, now we're on to the 9.5s. I'd start with PSA. They don't have a 9.5. So I go to BGS, 9.5, 139 $139. HGA 9.5, 105.50. I was surprised by that actually. CSG 9.5, and this is where we get the big drop off. $67.
Ew.
SGC 9.5, 61.50. And just for fun, I threw in the PSA 9, which actually outsold the CSG and the SGC 9.5. The PSA 9 was at $68.
What was the CSG 9.5?
67.
All right, I'm actually gonna plug the website and the calculator and see if you could actually legitimately buy a CSG 9.5 and flip it to PSA as a 10 and then make money. So we'll put in $67. Let's say we buy it on
Let me know what
eBay.
numbers you need.
What's up?
Let me know what numbers you need.
Well, no, I got all the numbers.
Oh, okay.
So you could even at this low price point, if you bought the CSG 9.5 at $67, you got it in at the $50 level, um, and you sold it. What was the PSA 10 sale price?
The last one was 217.50.
217.50. So 217.5 minus. You could make $55 on this card if you got a 10.
Wow.
$55 profit on a $67 card if you bought the CSG 9.5 and it came back at 10.
And I think that's
From
happening
PSA.
more than you think.
Yeah, it's definitely
That's
possible.
why I've always talked about population reports are actually kind of, other than tens, are really useless.
Yeah, but I mean, the opportunity's there to make money if you have a good eye, because that once again, if you had the subgrades on CSG and it was, three or four 9.5s and there whatever they may have marked as a 9 isn't obvious or whatever, you could easily wind up with a PSA 10, and there's arbitrage opportunities right there. All right, sir. Anything else on your
No, I'm all slab board out with 9 guy. 9
9?
and pop reports. You better bring it next week.
I guess the pressure is on. All right, so let's move on to a couple of I guess injury updates. Zion and James Wiseman both ruled out for the season. I believe Wiseman also going to be ruled out for the playoffs. So I mean, not that his investment was all that big. He's been out with injury for a while, but I think some people are looking at him potentially coming back. Both those guys going to be really good off-season potential investments. Zion could wind up anywhere else but New Orleans, especially if he winds up in a big market like New York and he comes back strong. Going to be massive, massive upside for his cards. And then Wiseman, Warriors look strong, and if he comes back to the lineup and adds anything next year, could also be opportunities for him in the offseason to get stuff real cheap. He hasn't made a whole lot of noise in his first 2 years, but the team around him is really good, and so there's definitely going to be opportunity for him to potentially contribute and Warriors to make playoff runs. And then the other bit of I guess you could say off-season hot stove, whatever you want to call it. What I think is going to be interesting is the value of Mahomes. Tyreek's gone. He's in Miami now. Takes away, pretty much the primary deep threat for the Chiefs.
Yeah, you love
So,
Juju.
I mean, so I think Juju would have had a massive impact if Tyreek stayed, because Juju was a beast when he had Antonio taking away number
Yep.
one coverage. But now he becomes basically number one, and I mean, Kelsey obviously is a tight end, but you're not putting your best defensive back on Kelsey
Am I
usually.
buying Pringle though?
Pringle's not even there anymore.
Oh, where'd he go?
He went to Chicago.
Oh, yikes.
So now it's Marquez Valdez Scantling, Juju, and Kelsey versus Tariq and Kelsey and whoever else you want to throw in there. So
That's a new look there.
it, they brought in Ronald Jones. They have Hilaire. Do the Chiefs run the ball more? Do Mahomes' stats not look as sexy? And does that have impact on his long term value? That's a question. So far, we have not seen a major impact on his value. But if people are expecting 5,050 type stats and he puts up 4,100 and 31, and Chiefs aren't winning Super Bowls and they become a mediocre team potentially, what happens to the value of his cards?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. That's where he's going to get into this middle of his career lull. So if he's not punching out the stats, or the Chiefs fall into being a 500 team, then that's going to be a problem for trying to make money on him in a big way, up with quick flips.
Yeah, let's see. So Kelsey signed for a while, but he's 32. He's going to be 33 this year. So, I mean, he doesn't have forever.
And Mahomes is already extended, right?
Yeah, Mahomes is signed
They
for
locked him up.
the rest of his career, basically.
No, just from the standpoint of trying to put people around him. If you're paying him $1 billion.
Yeah, he is making an average of 40 million a year. His contract, yeah, he signed a 10-year deal in 2020. So he's locked up. He becomes a free agent in 2032.
Yeah, I'm sure it's backloaded quite a bit.
Yeah, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's the thing. You better do better than Marquez Valdez Scantling as far as like who the number one's going to be.
Well,
And
you're looking at it, right? And they're not bringing anyone else in.
I mean, you still got a couple guys floating around. You got Odie out there. You got Julio
Okay,
out there. You got to bring somebody else in.
but do you?
I mean, you
And
think?
I mean, I know there's no Tyreek, but Andy Reid will find a way to win.
I don't know, guy. I mean, let's see. So your offensive weapons include Edwards Hilaire, Ronald Jones, Juju, Josh Gordon, Valdez Scantling,
They
that
didn't even use Josh Gordon.
Mecole Hardman, and Kelsey. So those are your weapons.
Yeah, you just send Hardman long. Take that half the field away. They'll be all right. I just solved all your problems.
Yeah, Tariq's only top 1, 2 best wide receivers in the game.
No, listen. To your point, he makes a difference, but we're just not going to know.
Yeah,
We're not going to know.
yeah,
I still think Mahomes puts up stats. I think the Chiefs are still going to be in position to win 10+ games every year for now, and we'll see what happens. I think as long as he's putting up above average stats, it might not be the stuff we've lightening up with Tyreek, but as long as he's doing that and they're winning ball games and they're winning a couple playoff games, his cards are going to be fine.
well, I mean, look what happened this year. They won games and his card still dipped. So I would definitely keep an eye on it in the offseason.
Well, they did once he lost. He lost in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would no.
They
I
were on the
mean,
climb, and had they won another game, forget about it.
they didn't start climbing until like week 16, 17. When
Oh, it was late for sure,
yeah,
but their first 8 weeks was awful.
yeah.
If not 10 weeks till they figured it out.
Yep. So I would keep an eye on it. People get nervous that Tariq's gone. Like once camps open and things don't look good. It's definitely something to watch and look for possible dips and fear. People start to get afraid that he's not going to have a great year. That his cards will dump. So there may
Yeah.
be some
Well,
opportunities
listen,
there.
those Prism Silver Nines drop a whole bunch of hundreds of dollars. I would definitely look to pick a bunch of those up and just
Yeah.
wait for them to climb back up.
I actually had one that I was watching tonight just because I wanted to see. I mean, it's a card that we buy regularly raw to grade. And there's one that's ending tonight that I wanted to see where it
Yeah, where's it
closed.
at?
Ooh, yuck.
Oh boy.
Closed for 961.
Wow.
Yuck. Yeah, this
Yeah, I
card,
mean,
I mean, this card's closed as high as 24, 2500. In season, it was closing for 15 to 1700. And then after the season ended, it was closing at 12 to 1300. And then, I think it's faded off and trailed down. But yeah, it didn't even break 1,000. I mean, there's been instances of this card raw selling for more than a
more than
thousand
that.
dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why we bought into this card regularly to grade was basically because there was a gap between raw PSA 9 and obviously a major gap with the 10. So we were able to buy raw, know that we could get at least a 9, pray for the 10, and still come out, you know, positive money. A lot of times now, PSA 9 and raw are neck and neck, and if you send to get graded, you're going to wind up upside down unless you get the 10. So I mean, there are instances out there that you have these opportunities where there's a divergence between raw and 9. So at least if you get the 9, you're not going to be upside down. But now it seems like that may not be the
Yeah, not the
case.
case. So now you're better off buying the 9, following the 9, and I would just buy the 9 as a 9, especially if it drops more.
Yeah, I mean, if that 9 comes down anymore, and you get nines that are closing in like the $700-800 range, I'd be buying that all day. I mean, the pops on it, unfortunately, are probably pretty high. Take a quick
I'm
look.
sure they're climbing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the last raw did 710. Let me see. I think that yeah, 710. If you bought it for 710, got it graded, and you got a 9, you with the 961, you'd make $15. Once
Yeah.
again, brought to you by Sports Card Advantage Calculator. Did that real quick. So
But
so
your declared value has to be under a grand for the $50 level, right?
correct. Well,
Which now you can do
now you can do.
on that card.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, pop. The pops on the nines, 2282. So yeah, it's definitely a decent amount there.
Right.
Yeah, this card sold for 1387 on the 13th of March, and as low as now this 961. The last two sales
Big
were
swing for 2 weeks in the middle of March.
oh Tyreek's gone.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's obviously the only variable.
Yeah, I mean the last two sales, 1129 and 1150, a week, 5 or 6 days ago.
Well, just like that, you answered your own question,
There
sir.
you go. All right, moving along. You have a couch cushion investment for us, correct?
I got a 10-second bottom of the barrel, used to be a top prospect, cheap autograph.
Way
But
to
it's even weaker. It's even weaker than my Austin Riley preseason last year.
instill confidence in those that take your
Hey, it's a
advice.
$7 prospect rookie card auto. I mean, you can't go too wrong.
All right, give it. Am I gonna be able to find it in anything that we use to look up card values?
Actually, I think he is. I think he's on Market Movers. Actually,
All right,
check out 2021 Topps Chrome Jesus Sanchez.
all right.
Once called the best prospect nobody wanted.
Best prospect nobody wanted. Okay,
Yeah,
Jesus
his base
Sanchez.
autos are his base autos are selling for like $6-7. You could even get his refractor auto for $20.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at his raw Topps Chrome Auto. Last sale $6.75. Over the last year, these cards have sold as high as $30. That's a 5x return. All right, so why do we like Jesus Sanchez, the prospect that nobody wanted?
He's going to get an opportunity to play. He's still young. He's absolutely raked at times at AAA. Uh, and you can't get any lower than $7. The only thing lower than a $7 rookie card Topps Chrome Auto is a relief pitcher. So you can't go wrong.
So basically, we're hoping that he gets some playing time and actually plays well, and you'll
Yeah, he
see.
should play. He'll bat fifth or sixth in that lineup. Hits a few April bombs. People start hopping on him. 2-3x that bad boy real quick.
I mean,
Told you, guy,
this
bottom of the barrel.
this really is the definition of couch cushion. Like, there are some people out there that may be able to find $6.75 in their couch.
Yeah, guy, but you buy it for $6, you sell it for 20. I can buy a bunch of cards with that money. How you
That's
do it?
that's
That
true.
that that is the bulk. We talk all these fancy investments and stuff like that, and sure, I buy some of them when because I believe in them. But the majority of the stuff I flip is in this below $10 range because I see it at a $4. I mean, I just sold a dumb what the heck? I think I bought it for $4. I just sold it for 15. But I waited on it, of course. But I do that stuff all the time. That's the way to go. Buy low because you think it might go up. You don't feel bad if it busts on you. It's not like you busted on a $400 card. I busted on a $4 card. But this time, and more often than not, I win. So fine, I take my $11 and I buy more cards.
Try not to have a stroke, guy. Okay.
I have low blood pressure, sir.
That's, I
I'm
mean,
I'm good
that's supposed to
if you
be.
can believe it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, and sometimes forget that, for you, it's the joy of the thrill of the flip and or the player and this type of stuff. To me, it's like buying something for $4 and selling it for $15 and making $11. Like, is not worth my time. But I forget that there's plenty of people out there that are in your situation that you need to flip cards in order to buy more because you're not, the wife doesn't give you an allowance to buy cards, and that card, that money goes to college funds and bills and kids and all that shit. So it's definitely real as far as the possibility, dollar boxes and or buying cards for $6.75 and potentially selling them for 15 or 20. So
No. I mean, that's literally, and again, if everyone find me on Twitter, if you have questions about check out my cards or CMC, but I buy hundreds of cards a month on there, and
yeah.
it takes a while to sell them, but every day something sells that I bought 3 months earlier, and I make money.
Do you
It
know what
just
you
funds my account.
do you know what you could do? You could make a video for the brand new website that we launched, and we could put it on there.
Oh, can I?
Yes, you
Can you
can.
give me my own spot on the website?
You can have your
Bunk's
own
Corner.
yeah, Bunk's Corner. If you want your own spot on the website, we can make room for you, and you can do a Bunk's video of the week or whatever it is. I'm sure you have your groupies out there that want to hear about COMC and all that
Uh,
fun stuff.
I'm gonna just highlight sets and stuff for you,
Whatever you want to do, buddy. You're
so you
50
won't watch.
you're a 50% owner in this, so
Yeah.
you have control of your own destiny. All right, we got one more thing on the list.
We do.
Question in from the Peanut Gallery. Recently pulled a low numbered card straight from a pack. Unfortunately, the card was damaged. What do I do?
Unfortunately, the companies make it, I think, a pain in the ass to get a damaged card replaced. But they, I believe, as long as you have the, what do you call it, the UPC from the box, the
Yeah.
wrapper of the pack it came in, the receipt from the purchase of the cards, and you have all those things, you can make a claim to get it replaced.
And will it take like 5 years to actually get
I
it
don't know.
back?
I've never done it. Thankfully, I haven't had a big enough card that I cared about. Because in that regard, I'm lazy. So I didn't get anything big enough that I was like, this thing dinged. I want a new one. I've never gone through that process. And in most cases, it's because I chucked the wrapper here and the receipts in the street, and I
That would
just
be
don't have
that
it.
would be littering.
I don't litter. It blew out of the garbage can.
Okay. Um, Yeah, so yeah, you have two options. Both Panini and Topps have links on their websites for damaged cards for you to file a claim. But as Bunk said, you need all the above, or you can, depending on the type of card and the value, potentially try to sell it. And depending on how badly it's damaged, you disclose that damage on, in the auction, or wherever it is you're selling it. Um, but I think it's a matter of how badly the card is damaged. Like if it's a dinged corner, like obviously you want to tell people about that, but you don't want to like overblow it, because some people just are buying the cards to buy the cards. You want to like and I think there's a lot of people on eBay that are pretty shady about the whole thing, and they just like look at the pictures, and the pictures are fuzzy and you can't see shit.
Capital letters read in
Yeah,
the
read.
description. You know how many links I click on that say read in the description?
Well, I think sometimes
Zero.
you do that to get people to click on it too. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
be an ethical seller, disclose the damage, or try to see if there's been other cards that are similar to that have sold that may have condition issues, and see what the value is. But the problem with sending it back to the grading card companies is if they're taking as long as they take for redemptions, you could be waiting a while to get it. So if it's something you're trying to sell and you need the money, you gotta roll the
yeah,
dice.
I would do a little homework. How much am I reasonably going to lose because of the whatever damage there is? And if I'm not going to lose that much, I'll just sell it and I'll fully disclose what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have the cash in hand than go through the work of wait. I mean, because I will never redeem another card again. That's a redemption.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I just sold my last Tops one. That's gone, and still waiting on that Wander Franco auto. We're never gonna get.
Yeah.
And another card, Panini. I've contacted them 9 times, and I haven't gotten one response back yet of the missing redemption that was sent out. So
That
they
sucks.
all suck. Redemptions suck, and that's that. I'm never redeeming or buying another one again.
And there you go. And on that note,
It's
we are,
awful. You pay for a box of cards, and they give you a piece of paper that says, "Hey, you might get this." I mean,
yeah.
that's just a. I mean, that's just a tremendous loss of value all around. And Panini points? Are you kidding me?
All right.
Lost
Well,
with that.
save your Panini
Absolute
points rant
garbage.
for Bunk's Corner.
Oh
Um,
boy.
all right. Well, we're at time, so we'll save your Panini points rant for another day.
I didn't even get into my penny sleeve rant. I
Well,
forgot from last week.
dude, the people are waiting for you to get on mic and go ape shit bananas and record your rants. They will make it to the website. I will clear off a space in the hero of the site that just will make your own graphic. It just says Bunk's Corner on it, and somebody will click on it, and it'll go to only your rant videos about whatever it is you want to rant about or talk about. So
Can
if
I want a cartoon caricature of myself.
fine, done.
I'm kidding. All
What?
right, done. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. All right. On that note, 1 year in the books. For those of you that have been rocking with us from the beginning, we appreciate you continuing to listen to us week in, week out. For those of you that are new, welcome. Stick around. We got some awesome things continuing to develop. The website is live, sportscardadvantage.com. That is going to be the new hub for everything that we do going forward. So please hit the site, support the site, send us feedback, get in the giveaway. We take any and all suggestions and try to work it into to what we're doing. So hopefully we'll make it another year, and we'll see you guys next week.